evening, everybody. Welcome along to this evening's Proud to Be a Volunteer Awards. Now, we hope that lots of you are sitting around watching us live tonight on Facebook and on YouTube. This event is the first virtual event Smile Foundation have ever done, and it definitely does feel a little bit strange. Not having you all sitting there in front of me, you know, making a little noise with your drink and your food and having a little natter and congratulating people on winning. We should all be in the bonus arena this evening, hundreds of us. However, we're all sitting at home comfortably, hopefully with a glass of something sparkling in your hand. Unless you're under 16, there's got to be a fruit shoot. And don't worry, we will be done in time for EastEnders, I promise you that. Now, all shortlisted nominees received a parcel this week with a bottle of Prosecco in it to enjoy this evening. So if you want to crack that open, feel free, enjoy and watch along with a glass in your hand tonight. Now, for obvious reasons, we know full well that the event couldn't be held in the same way as last year. And it would have been very easy for us just to say, that's it, we'll cancel it, we'll move it on to 2021. However, that's not the way Smile Foundation do things. We knew how many amazing volunteers are still doing amazing things and have done for many years before the pandemic, and they will do as well for many years to come. And during the pandemic, they've gone above and beyond. We wanted to recognise them. We wanted to recognise their efforts, their outstanding achievements across all types of volunteering in our community. Now, everybody seemed to agree that we had a record number of 157 nominations, which surpasses the first year in 2019. Our judges had a hard job to get it down to just 47. Now, in a few minutes' time, I'll be inviting Andy Barber, you know him, Chief Executive of the Hey Smile Foundation, to talk a little on why Smile wanted to continue with the awards and give us an update on what Smile have been doing during the COVID-19 pandemic. However, just before that, let me, a little bit of housekeeping, explain how the virtual awards event is going to happen. Now, the events and the awards will commence, and I'll run through the shortlisted nominees and announce a winner. In one or two categories, there's also a highly commended award. This is where our judges just couldn't let somebody go by unsung. Now, you'll see the comments section as well. Can you see it on the screen there? On the live feed, as soon as it's open, please share your good luck messages and your words of encouragement and congratulations to tonight's nominees. We really, really do encourage it, and it'll make them feel that little bit more special. They haven't got a big crowd in the room with them, but if they see that you're rooting for them and saying well done to them, it'll just make them feel that little bit better. Now, our hashtag for this event is hashtag Smile Volunteer Awards. So please do include that when you're doing the social media. That's hashtag Smile Volunteer Awards. Then we'll conclude the event with a final few words from Andy. So, before we get it all underway, we just want to say a massive thank you to our event partners, Maddle, Nice's retail charity making a difference locally, and East Riding of Yorkshire Council for coming on board and supporting Smile to make this virtual event happen, and for having faith as well that Smile could pull it off. We'd also like to say a massive thank you to our award category sponsors, who you'll hear mentioned throughout the awards and throughout the evening. Now, these businesses are all huge supporters of the Smile Foundation, and they truly recognise both the value of volunteering and the importance of giving recognition to those who give their time to help others. Now, I warned you he was coming, Britain's best dressed man, Andy Barber.
Thank you, Darren, and good evening to everybody for this year's Volunteer Awards in 2020, which has been an incredibly strange year for all of us, but no more so has it been a huge effort from a whole host of volunteers in the last 6 months in particular. But we're here to celebrate volunteers from across the whole year. Another amazing year of volunteering impact across Hull, East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. Thanks to our sponsors making a difference locally, from NICER and also East Riding Council for the huge support once again, and all you individual sponsors for each of the awards for giving us your time and also ensuring that the right winners are chosen, but we know that everybody's a winner who's been nominated so far. So what's been going on? Well, the Smile Foundation has been at the forefront of the volunteer effort across the East Riding, but we've been connecting in with all the Hull, East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire organisations on that COVID impact in the last 6 months. It'd be amiss of me not to mention that and the impact that that's had. In East Riding alone, we had 2,500 volunteers working across the patch, across the 9 hubs. That's over 36,000 contacts volunteers had across our region, providing food, medication and support. An amazing effort. If you times that up at the hourly rate of a minimum wage or living wage, you're looking at over 1.1 million of impact just in the East Riding, which timesing that up again across Hull, East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire sees an incredible over £2.5 million worth of effort from volunteers to quantify that effort and to show our statutory and private sector partners the difference that volunteers make, not just in a crisis, but on a regular basis. And I'd like to really shout out to everybody who hasn't been a COVID volunteer, but regularly volunteers and unfortunately has had to shield during this difficult time. A lot of you I know have been supporting befriending organisations, and so many of those have been recognised through this process. So many, in fact, that we haven't been able to nominate any one of those organisations to stand out on their own. But we just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been doing befriending across the Hull, East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire area. So a huge effort from people across the last year. Incredible times we were in face, and we're looking forward to the next 6 months of how volunteers have an impact within our communities. But tonight is all about celebrating the last year, getting those nominations in, and we've had an incredible response for nominations this year. A huge thank you to the organisation committee. Massive thank you to all our sponsors for sitting down and sifting through all the applications and having that really tough task to choose a winner. Myself personally, I've witnessed firsthand, as I say, the wonderful impact that volunteers have had, both in this COVID situation and beforehand. And I can't thank you enough as volunteers for the wonderful work that you do. It makes our world and our community spin round and make sure that people who are lonely and vulnerable and isolated in particular have that personal contact on a regular basis. Volunteers are working across our patch in our police, our fire and our NHS services on a regular basis as well, and they've been recognised within the nominations this evening. But a huge thank you, as I say, to every one of those volunteers that have been nominated this evening. If you don't win the award, you are still a winner in our eyes, and I know that's said on a regular basis, but it really is true in this fact. We are going to go on and continue to support volunteers going forward. We're looking at new ways to volunteer in the future, and we're going to listen to all the response that we've had across the patch during COVID, which has seen wonderful COVID mutual aid groups come together through WhatsApp, Facebook, using digital of how we connect volunteers in our community to really make a difference on your street, in your community and in your neighbourhood. And it's up to us as charities with paid members of staff to ensure that we're there to break down all the barriers to enable you to volunteer without any restrictions and do what a wonderful job you've been able to show us you can do during the COVID times. We've got to move forward as volunteers. We've got to make sure that new volunteering opportunities are there, whether it's volunteering from your home, whether it's volunteering in your own personal street, whether it's actually just making some magic on the street, as we've seen all the stones and all the activity that has gone on to keep people connected. One of the best things I've seen through the COVID response has been how we have connected as a community, how we've said good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. And I know that hundreds and thousands of volunteers, that's one of the most vital roles that they play a part in. Many of our volunteers that we're celebrating this evening and have done an incredible job over the last year have ensured that people have that connectivity, which has then an overriding massive impact on the health and well-being of our community. It saves our society money. It makes a personal impact, but it makes people feel valued. And tonight, it's all about valuing you, the volunteers. And thank you so much for your incredible effort. And I'm looking forward to seeing who's won the awards this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you for making the effort to dress up. Let's crack on with the award ceremony. And the first award tonight is the Connecting Communities Award, sponsored by Nippon Gosei. The nominations are Annie Kirkman and Jackie Heffer, Beverley COVID-19 Group; Carol Anscombe, Health Watch North Lincolnshire; Zoe Hodgkin and Ruth Jackson, Pocklington COVID-19 Support; Claire Greaves, Mental Health Mates; Andrew Hurst, Gilbert Ike and Surrounding Villages Coronavirus Group; and Dawn and Terry Sullivan, HU4 Community Network Group. And the winner is Carol Anscombe, Health Watch North Lincolnshire. Our judges thought it was evident that Carol gave a huge amount to the community, but has also gained a lot from the volunteering with regards to her confidence. Carol does a wide range of volunteering, and it helped her immensely after losing her husband. Carol has made a vital contribution to Health Watch North Lincolnshire, and we're sure she'll go on to do so for many more years. Congratulations, Carol. Our second award this evening is the Environmental Volunteer Award, sponsored by Transwaste. Our nominees are Darren Baker, Friends of the Beck, Driffield; Gail Godfrey, the Health Tree Foundation; Michelle Lee, GEMS; and Incredible Edible Marshland. And the winner is Incredible Edible Marshland. Incredible Edible Marshland are a community group aiming to create a kind, confident, connected community through growing, sharing and eating food. Now, during COVID-19, they also supported the community and small businesses. The volunteers work hard to empower residents in their community, which, in their own words, is what they think is key to creating a kind, confident, connected community. Our judges picked these as the winners as they've cut through so many areas, which has been such a difficult year so far for so many. They were also impressed by the mental health benefits which cooking is proven to have, creating a focus and an interest for people during these difficult times. Congratulations, Incredible Edible Marshland. On to our third award, which is the Behind the Scenes Volunteer Award, sponsored by Umber Creative. The nominees are Angela Kingston, Send Community Helper; Chris Walker, Site Support; Angela and Colin Brown, Bundles of Joy; Mary Calvert, Cottingham Village Trust; Lucas Meager; Rachel Eaton, Fit Mums and Friends; and Tina Brack from Humberside Police. Now, our judges were really torn in this category, such a high level of nominees, and therefore they chose to award a highly commended. The highly commended winner is Chris Walker of Site Support. Our judges said we all need a Chris in our lives at the moment. He's cheerful, he's happy, and he's willing to get involved. 16 years of service as well deserves a special mention, and we think people like you will always make a difference. And the winner is Angela and Colin from Bundles of Joy. Our judges described this couple as beautiful people. In a time where family budgets have been stretched, this couple are upcycling, refurbishing and mending to support families who are in need the most. Children and babies' products are easily disposable, but using time, hard work and skill, they're making useful again. The environmental benefits are a bonus on top of a lovely nomination. We are sure Bundles of Joy would not be the charity they are today without the hard work of Angela and Colin. Congratulations, Angela and Colin from Bundles of Joy. On to our fourth award. This is the Trustee Award, sponsored by Smales Goldie. Our nominees are Andrew Bowden, Pocklington Rugby in the Community; Tom Wilders, East Riding Theatre Limited; Angela Brockhausen, Downright Special; Paddy Hall, Education Alliance; Anne Massam and Robin Russell from Site Support. And the winner is Angela Brockhausen, Downright Special. This is what our judges had to say about Angela. She has a phenomenal impact on Downright Special, applying good governance and strategic thinking to take the charity to the very next level. She stepped back and considered the bigger picture. She's devised a plan to address the basics before commencing a programme of growth projects. These are things that people often don't think in the background of a charity, yet they are of the utmost importance. Downright Special has always been a very well-performing and special charity, but Angela has taken them to the very next level. As she hands over reins as chair, she firmly leaves her mark. Congratulations, Angela. Don't forget to keep your hashtag going. Don't forget to keep giving us your messages of good luck and of support on Facebook, on YouTube, as you're watching us tonight. Say congratulations to all our winners and help them make them feel a little bit more special as they're sitting at home with a brew in the hand. Let's move on to our fifth award. It's the Volunteer Team Award, sponsored by Arco. The nominations are Hull Street Angels Trinity, Strathmore, Silverdale and Riversdale Neighbourhood Network, Hull Talk, the Stroke Group Volunteers, Preston Road Women's Centre Volunteer Team, and Humber NHS Volunteer Driver Team. Now again, our judges, the struggle to choose between the top two on these, so we have a split choice, and again we have a highly commended. Therefore, the highly commended in this category is the Hull Street Angels Trinity. Our judges had high praise indeed for Hull Street Angels Trinity, believing that they've worked through some extremely challenging situations, both out in the streets and then during lockdown as well, with the Hull Street Angels' Caring programme, where they adapted their service to fit the stay-at-home vulnerable population rather than the nighttime population. A hugely impressive example of a team who didn't go into hibernation themselves when their target group disappeared, but they grew their support and ideas to take care of a different group in an area of the East Riding that is in fact very underprovided for and lacking in services and support. And the winner is Humber NHS Volunteer Driver Team. This is what our judges had to say. They've also faced some very challenging situations and have seen more than most of us of the direct results of COVID-19 on the everyday people and families of the area. They've clearly been a huge support to our local NHS and enabling it to continue to function and care for people. They've gone over and above what might have been expected from them, and it feels as if they've truly become an indispensable asset. Between March and July, these drivers had collectively travelled the equivalent of twice around the British coastline, and just for PPE deliveries, they drove the equivalent distance to Berlin and back. Incredible. Congratulations, Humber NHS Volunteer Driver Team. On to our 6th award. This is the Community Volunteer Award, sponsored by Nisa Retail. Our nominees are Karen Berry, Market Wheaton Community Champion; Claire Raper, Bundles of Joy; Steve Lewis, Fair Share Hull and Humber; Lisa Hensby, Baby Dinosaurs; Bibash Dash, Lunchbox Ghoul; Alan Bowmaster, and Wayne Gammon. And the winner is Alan Bowmaster. This is what the judges had to say about Alan. Whilst the standard of entries on this year's shortlist was incredibly high, he stood out as someone who's overcome his own personal struggle to make a real difference for those going through similar experiences, not only in his own community, but nationally through his involvement with various stroke projects, groups and programmes. In addition to that, the local support group he's also founded himself. Now, the impact of Alan's work was clear from his nomination, and his involvement with other projects such as the Older People's Partnership and the Halton Price Men in Sheds demonstrates a real dedication to providing support, hope and a sense of community to those around him. Well done, and congratulations, Alan. I hope you've got the glasses refilled and ready to charge them for the winner of our 7th award, the Public Service Volunteer Award, sponsored by the 1 Point. The nominees are Jane Broughton, Humberside Police; Shane O'Neill, Humberside Police; and Tony and Joan Harris, also from Humberside Police. And the winner is Shane O'Neill. Now, Shane is an extremely dedicated and passionate special constable working in North Lincolnshire, targeting criminals and making our communities safer. He's been a special constable for 9 years. Now, you might not know this, but the minimum hours a special constable must complete per year is 208. Shane regularly goes far beyond this. In fact, in January to July this year alone, he's already completed 394 hours. Last year, he completed 931 hours. Do anything to get out of doing the washing up. Shane is well known for the effort he puts in, and without doubt makes the streets of North Lincolnshire a safer place to be. Congratulations and well done, Shane. Let's move on to our 8th award this evening. This is the Sports Volunteer Award, sponsored by Active Humber. Our nominees are Mike Bromby, St Paul's Boxing Academy CIO; Jamie and Helen Penn, Humber Bridge Park Run; Trev Penrose, Hull Wyke Rugby League; Pauline Hardy, Reckitt's Netball Club and Humberside County; and Laura Gully, Fit Mums and Friends. Now, again, this is another one where our judges had an extremely difficult choice, so they've decided to award a highly commended. And the highly commended winner is Laura Gully of Fit Mums and Friends. Our judges could see that Laura is clearly a very valued member of the Fit Mums and Friends team and community. A highlight of Laura's work with Fit Mums was in 2019. She became the lead for a project in conjunction with Hull and East Riding Site Support, holding weekly fitness walks to support people with visual impairment and help them be more active. Now, during lockdown, whilst the project wasn't running, Laura and her team made a point of keeping in weekly contact with the participants of the scheme to ensure they didn't feel forgotten about, they didn't feel isolated, and whilst the programme was paused, they always felt like they had somebody there with them. Laura is the type of volunteer every charity needs, a real advocate for Fit Mums and Friends. And the winner is Pauline Hardy, Reckitt's Netball Club and Humberside County. Now, Pauline has volunteered in netball development for the community in Humberside for 46 years and was the founder member and chair of Reckitt Benkinser Netball Club when she set it up in 2007. She's been instrumental to Reckitt's in receiving funding and recognition from England Netball and is currently a core inclusive club. Pauline is paramount to the development of netball in Humberside. She spends over 25 hours a week as a volunteer working hard developing Reckitt's Netball Club. She also supports Humberside County Netball Association, where she's a committee member and a HCNA coaching secretary. She also sits on the England Netball National Heritage Group as well. Pauline is a one-off. She is truly inspirational, she's enthusiastic and a great ambassador for the role. Congratulations and well done, Pauline. Well, we're cracking through them tonight. On to our 9th award. This is the Young Volunteer Award, sponsored by Elderington. Now, if you're sitting there at home thinking, hang on a second, you mentioned earlier that all the nominees have been sent a box with Prosecco in. If they're under 16, they haven't. They've got a chocolate hamper instead. We've covered every angle. The nominees for this award are Charlotte Lanson and Danny Butler, Hull Streets Angels Trinity. Gabriella Serdick, Hull City Council. Rosie Clark, Helltree Foundation. And William Parker, Helltree Foundation. And the winner is William Parker from the Helltree Foundation. Our judges were impressed with William. He's a young man who got on his bike to help those in need during the global pandemic. When they offered money, he gave it to the Helltree Foundation and raised over £1,000. His fundraising must have helped and made a big difference. Now, he could have sat back and enjoyed the early finish to his school years. However, that's not William. He chose to do something with his time instead. Wise beyond his years, he combined fitness with helping the community. We expect he made a huge difference to the community and bridged the gap between young and old. A fantastic young man. Well done, William. Our penultimate award of the evening is a brand new one for 2020. And thanks very much to RUF, Yorkshire and the Humber, who stepped up to support this and came up to us and said, we want to get involved, we want to do an award. So they sponsor the Fundraiser Award. The nominees are Janet Wright, the Snaith School. Prue Stillings, Seaview Cancer Charity Shop. Lee Middleton, the Mighty Black and Whites. Emma and Lee Clay, the Helltree Foundation. And Elaine Cornforth, Site Support. And the winner is Janet Wright from the Snaith School. Now, our judges were very impressed with Janet. She showed how to go way over and above as a parent fundraiser. What Janet has achieved for the Snaith community is remarkable, from giving her time to fundraise and write bids, to chairing meetings and forming partnerships. She's going to have an immeasurable impact on the whole community. Given Janet involved the wider community in the fundraising campaign to secure this fantastic facility, the benefit to the school will be extremely positive, not just in getting a new 3G pitch worth almost £700,000. Its true value is priceless, given the amount of people who will be able to benefit in years to come. Every school needs somebody like Janet who will help them reach their dreams. Congratulations and well done to Janet. Now we come to our final award of the evening, and it's a special award. It's the Outstanding Volunteer of the Year award, supported by Maddle, making a difference locally. Now, the award was chosen by Maddle from this evening's winners. It's somebody who they think has gone above and beyond the role of a volunteer. But who is it? Let's find out. Here's Andy Barber.
So I'm fortunate enough to announce who the overall Outstanding Volunteer of the Year is this year in 2020. And I'm doing so on behalf of Making a Difference Locally, one of our partners for this evening's activity. So this winner has obviously been one of our nominations through this process, has already won an award and has got the opportunity to step forward and take this next nomination and the credit for the outstanding work that's done within the community. In these current times, hundreds if not thousands of volunteers are putting themselves at risk within our communities to help others. But this individual has been doing it for over 9 years. They put a whole host of research into the pieces of work that they do, and their superiors and their colleagues and their peers all recognise the incredible work that has been going on with this individual. We'd like to celebrate volunteers across our patch with these awards, whether they're working within a statutory organisation, a voluntary organisation, or doing things off their own back. This individual almost encompasses all three of those. This individual he stands out as outstanding for us this evening because of the time, effort and dedication both on the front line and behind it. You may have already guessed that tonight's overriding winner is within the Humberside Police Authority in the area. Nominated by the Chief Inspector, this individual, Shane O'Neill, is an outstanding representation for us as a community here in Hull, East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. He's able to provide a platform for others to follow, and he works with individuals both young and old to make sure that our communities are stronger together. A huge thank you to Shane O'Neill. A huge congratulations for the effort and determination that you've shown and has been recognised by your Chief Inspector, but I know recognised by hundreds of people within the community as well. Congratulations for this evening, but thank you on behalf of the whole community for the incredible work that you do. You're an inspiration, and let's hope that it inspires more special constables to step forward and volunteer for Humberside Police.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you to all our nominees tonight, and thank you for all the nominations. We hope everyone's enjoyed it, and can we just reiterate the great examples volunteering has seen across the region. Tonight is about recognising volunteering overall, not just those who've been shortlisted for the award. It's a celebration of what volunteering represents and the impact that it can have on people's lives. Thank you to everybody who's joined us virtually. We're sending you a huge virtual cheers to you all. Hope you've enjoyed yourself tonight. Hope you've got through that bottle of Prosecco, that box of chocolates as well. Therefore, we have a special video of thanks from a few organisations who witness volunteering firsthand and understand the value of volunteers and difference they make to the lives of people and communities living right across the Humber region.
Hi, Michelle Moran, Chief Executive of Humber FT. I'm really sorry I can't be there, but hopefully you appreciate that at the moment it's a particularly difficult period that we're all going through. But I'm hoping that you've had a fantastic event. I'm sure you will have. It's really important, the work that you do and how you support the services and the organisation. We certainly could not do any of what we do without your help and support and commitment. You truly are all remarkable. So congratulations to the winners, but please, 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 everyone's a winner because you do an absolutely fabulous job. Thank you.
Hi, John Skidmore, Director of Adults Health and Customer Services, East Riding of Yorkshire Council. Volunteers, voluntary organisations and carers are really important to work as equal partners with us across our area, and are doing some great work. And it gives me great pleasure to acknowledge and celebrate the work that everyone's doing in all their communities in whatever way that is, whether it's just a few hours or many days that people volunteer. Please accept my thanks as part of the system for the fantastic work that you do, and celebrate and how you connect and support our residents every day, which is fantastic. Thank you.
We've been providing Meals on Wheels service for about 12 years now. So we do a hot meal that's freshly cooked that morning, and then it's delivered in thermal boxes straight to the customers. So they actually get a nice meal, not a frozen meal or in a plastic container. This weekend we're sending out some bags of happiness, and they've got scented candles in, they've got some nice chocolates in.
Jackie, you're doing a fantastic job. Please pass on many good wishes, and big thank you to all the volunteer team you've got up there.
Could I just ask you to do a high five for all of the volunteers in East Riding? Go high fiver.
Of course, I'll do a virtual high five.
Now, with a special thank you, we've got a video presentation from the Queen's representative, Jim Dick, OBE.
Protecting the vulnerable, looking after the old, checking on each other's neighbours, sharing information. The effort has been absolutely amazing. And it's built on what has already been a very proud tradition of volunteering in the county that I think we should all be very proud of. And I think one of the things that has emerged in the last few weeks has been the strengthening of community spirit, everyone doing their bit to help each other. And I really hope that as we go forward, that spirit is maintained and strengthened. We will need it just as much in the recovery phase as we have done during the crisis. And I can tell you that as Lord Lieutenant, the Lieutenancy is very keen to help wherever possible in recognising volunteers and encouraging more to take part. I know my view is shared by the High Sheriff, Mr. Andrew Horncastle, and also countless organisations throughout the community. Together, we really can make a difference with regard to volunteering. We can improve access, we can help develop roles, and we can encourage not only the volunteers, but also the beneficiaries. I'm proud to be a volunteer, and as a Queen's representative for the East Riding and Hull, I want to send you my sincere thanks for all the work that is going on at the moment. Please keep it up.
Has it been a great night tonight? It's been a really, really fantastic evening. And to conclude with a few words, here's Andy Barber.
Thank you very much, Darren, for your time and effort in celebrating all these wonderful volunteers this evening. A special thank you to Sarah Shepherdson for putting on this event, pulling it together online to make sure we can celebrate volunteers in these difficult scenarios. I'd also like to say a huge personal thank you to our sponsors this evening, the East Riding of Yorkshire Council, and Making a Difference Locally, which is NICE's charity, for continuing to invest in this event, albeit in a different way this year. We hope we're going to be back together in one room celebrating volunteers again next year. And we also hope we have the opportunity to specially thank some of those COVID response volunteers next year as we look at how we reacted as communities to the pandemic. Been a brilliant evening. Really appreciate all of your efforts. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being online with us this evening, and we hope that you continue to volunteer in the future. And I'd like to also just put a little special mention out to all the charitable organisations that coordinate volunteers and make that time and effort to ensure that volunteers remain safe in this difficult scenario. The Smile Foundation has provided a hell of a lot of funding to ensure that people are safe and can volunteer with all the PPE and so on. But a massive thank you to all those coordinators of volunteers. It's not an easy job to make sure people are in the right place at the right time, and it's not often they get the thank you. It's always the volunteers in the forefront, which are amazing, but somebody has to help to make sure they get to where they need to be at the right time. So a massive thank you to all those organisations as well. Brilliant evening, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.
Now, well done to everybody who's a winner this evening. Everybody who was shortlisted will also receive a trophy. Sarah will be in touch and you'll receive your trophy soon. Thank you very much for watching us on YouTube, on Facebook. It's been a bit different, hasn't it? Next year, we will see you in person, I promise. We'll be in a big arena. We'll have food, we'll have drink, we'll shake hands, we'll laugh, we'll chat, we'll cheer, we'll congratulate. We'll see you for the 2021 Volunteer Awards next year. Stay safe.